start? What was it like wrestling in Gallagher for the first time?
I mean, it was electric. It was the crowd was pretty wild, especially for it being the first duel of the year. It was awesome, and then getting to watch my teammates go out there and compete, it was awesome, especially for the first, for the couple guys that were, competing in Gallagher for the first time. So it's pretty cool.
You wrestled all over the place in high school. If somebody were to ask you like where you're from, where do you say that you're from?
I'm from upstate New York.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
What kind of brought you to Oklahoma State then?
I think just coming back home and being around my family and surrounding myself around my friends that I became friends with. I was on the same team with Jordan Williams at Collinsville. Just having the connections here with I don't know. I just feel like it's a better place for me to be here and have that support. Especially with the state of Oklahoma.
Troy, you're listed from Eufaula, Oklahoma. What led you away from the state?
What do you mean, like
what led you to Minnesota out of high school?
I'm not too sure. I think I think I kind of made the decision on my own, right? I didn't really talk it over with my family. My mom wasn't too happy with it. She was like, "Well, I don't want to go up there. It's pretty cold." So I don't know. I think just it's being young, and I kind of just thought I was I wanted to go up and take the chance, and just you gotta live and learn, So and then I had that experience, and I was like, I kind of want to be back home, and be around my family, and I think it's gonna be best for me.
What's that experience in the portal like?
Huh?
Like from a student athlete's perspective, what's that experience in the portal like?
Which one?
When you're in the transfer portal, like what's the immediate process? What do the immediate steps look like?
So I couldn't have any. So I really took a risk because I couldn't have any contact with any coaches. So I didn't really know. I was taking a really big risk because of what I had at Minnesota, and I didn't really know what was to come. Once I entered the portal, because I was thinking that I would have options, but I was leaving a big piece behind at Minnesota, and it was just. I got out to a bunch of coaches reached out to me once I was in the portal, and they were allowed to contact me, but it wasn't too long when I was in there. I talked it over. I went back home and had a talk with my family, before I even entered the portal. I kind of just talked it over with them and kind of was bouncing ideas off of them, what they were thinking. And then, I kind of just was like, my dad was like, we're going to support you, and be behind you with whatever decision you make. But, it's got to be your last decision, you got to make sure it's going to be right. And it's still kind of a risk, taking that, even though you don't know, you don't know you can't, can't predict the future, so.
How do you use this time? Because it's kind of a weird deal. You have that, like you said, that electric feeling of wrestling, that first duel, and now you've got to pause before you go to a tournament, and it's a while till the next duel.
Well, we have a open tournament this upcoming weekend, so I'll be able to get out there, keep, training's been pretty good, and I don't know, just trying to keep refining my tools, preparing myself for the season. It's going to be a grind. I don't know what's to come, but I'll be ready for whatever's ahead. So.
Troy, what got you into wrestling?
I don't know. I think I was a pretty wild kid when I was younger, and my grandpa just called my dad and was like, "Hey, I'm going to take him down to practice." And I had a lot of energy, and I was really young at the time. I was only 4 when I started, but I was wrestling with guys that were 7 or 8 years old, and I was beating up on them. And I think we were like, well, he might be pretty good at it. So that's kind of what it was. And,
do you remember what age that was? Like around when you said your grandpa made your dad that call? Insisting that you were going to go and get that?
Oh, I was 4 years old at the time. Yeah, and then I think when I really committed to just wrestling, because I did football as well when I was younger, up until I was about 12, and me and my dad sat down and were like, if you want to be the best at something, you got to commit to one thing, And so I was like, I'm going to give it a shot and go with wrestling. So I've stuck with it since.
I know you said you were kind of a wild kid at a young age. I know a lot of high school athletes say they use football or wrestling or physical sports as like a happy medium to kind of get that out? Were you kind of the same way?
I don't know. I think my dad, I mean, he molded me into the young man that I am today. So, I mean, he put the, you gotta work hard at whatever you do. You can't, go halfway. You have to be all in, So, I don't know. I think just growing up around my dad, and my parents are, they work hard. So it's like I just kind of had that instilled in me since I was a young kid. So.
A lot of new faces in the room. You're obviously one of them. What's the kind of vibe of the room like this year?
Oh, I think, we've talked about it a bunch. I think this team is probably one of the closest wrestling teams, in the country. Closest to Oklahoma State team, So we bond all the time. We talk to each other. If somebody's struggling with little things, we we help each other out in whatever way we can. I think it's hard to have a good team when there's just everyone's not together. I think being together and supporting each other, even through rough patches and stuff like that, and it's okay to be down and let your teammates know, and they're going to be there to help you through it. So I think this team's going to be good.
Did you know Dayton much before you got here? What's kind of been your impressions of him?
I actually didn't know him very well. He's pretty quiet, but I didn't know. I've heard of him, obviously. And I thought I was like, dang, it's gonna be awesome to be able to wrestle with Dayton. So, but I didn't know very much of him, personally. So,
what do you think is a part of your game that's kind of taken steps forward since you've been here?
I think just, I think the belief in myself and the coaches that they make me go out there, and I feel like when I wrestle, I'm like, yeah. Sometimes I'm like, I don't know. But the coaches, I think, just kind of like instilling it in me throughout practice and just telling me, you just got to go out and be yourself. And when they tell me that, I feel like I can beat anyone in the country. So.
What's Dayton's demeanor like in the wrestling ring?
He's quiet, but he's very knowledgeable, and he's awesome to be around. He doesn't talk very much, but when he does, he's a pretty awesome guy.
Do you have an instance?
I don't know. When we work out together, we're always bouncing ideas off each other, and it feels like it just kind of, it just creates a good vibe in the room when everybody's bouncing ideas off each other. But he's a pretty big leader, not vocally, but by the way that he works in the room.
How different is he on the mat?
What do you mean?
In a duel. Sure.
In a duel?
Yeah.
Not very much. I don't think he changes very much. I think his competitiveness when he steps out on the mat is just, he takes it up another notch. In the room he's pretty, he's there too, but when he goes out on the mat, it's a whole different, animal.
So with the three-point takedown, I know you grew up having that 2-point takedown. Could you feel the pace of the bout, pace of the duel kind of speed up with that? I know Coach was saying one of the things he envisioned the rule doing was kind of speeding up matches, and you'd see quicker rules. Could you feel the enhanced pace?
Yeah, I'm a guy that likes to go out and score points, obviously. And, I think it benefits guys that are pretty offensive and like getting takedowns. So, I think it sped it up. I don't even know. I don't really look at the score when I'm out there wrestling. I'm trying to focus on a bunch of different things. So, I was just looking to score points. But 3-point takedown is definitely a big factor for us guys that like to attack and score.
Anything else, guys? All good? Thanks, Jordan.
Yes, sir.
Thanks, Jordan.